What's happening, everyone? TomGorian here. Welcome to episode number 15, not 16 yet, 15 of the F124 Alpine to Glory Career Mode series. This is the penultimate race of Season 1, the Qatar Grand Prix. As you can see in the previous video, we finished 19th because of that crash. It just wasn't a good weekend overall for us in general. However, with 2 races to go of the very first season of the Alpine to Glory, we're going to try and bounce back in a massive way. We've got a sprint race coming up again, and we've also got the main race. The championship could be decided. Max Verstappen leads by 7 whole points to Charles Leclerc. There is some of the results from the first season. We won at Imola, we won at Spa, we came second at Monza, and of course we've had only 1 DNF so far this season. If you are enjoying this series, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you never miss an upload for more F124 Alpine to Glory as we reach the end of season number 1. So pretty much as we get ready for the second to last race of season 1, we're going to just try and wrap things up as far as our upgrades are concerned, try and save what is left for our durability. As you can see, our ICE is not looking good, so what we are deciding to do is we are going to scrap literally every single engine component that we have, and we are going to be taking at least 40 grid penalties for this race. As you can see, energy store is on the third, the final one. We're going to get a new turbocharger, we're going to get a new control electronics and a new gearbox as well, and pretty much, yeah, a whole new gearbox, a whole new engine for the last 2 races, maximum attack as we try to retain 5th place in the Drivers' Championship. What's surprising about this is that we are also now, we've climbed up surprisingly to the 3rd best, well, we are now the 3rd most durable team on the grid. I mean, you don't really, put Alpine and durability together, but we are the 3rd most durable. And also with the powertrain as well, we've actually got a intercooler upgrade for the engine power, which Pierre Gasly has done. So now, surprisingly, we have the best engine on the grid, which is a shocking turn of events, considering that we weren't focusing on the engine this season. We were focusing more on the chassis and even the aero side of the car. And now, by the end of the season, we now have the best engine by some distance, better than Mercedes, better than Ferrari, with only 2 races to go, and we're starting to be in the mix as far as the top echelon of the teams on the grid. However, the durability upgrade that we were supposed to save, I think Gasly did that has not come through, so we are now in the mix as far as being the 5th fastest team. However, without further ado, it's now time for the penultimate race of Season 1 of the Alpine to Glory, the Qatar Grand Prix. I've turned line back on for the final 2 races. So yeah, without further ado, let's get in to the sprint race.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint, not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Leclerc, Sainz, Gasly, Stroll, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Albon, Joe, Bottas, Sargent and Thomas. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And alongside me today, a man who I'm always pleased to see join me in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. Let's look at their season, and particularly against their teammate. Fair to say, they've got the better of them more often than not. I know what we've got to do before the start.
So here we go. sprint race. I think it might be the last one of the season. We're starting in last. No need for strategy or anything. This is just flat out comeback drive season. Let's go.
The formation lap gets underway ahead of today's sprint. It's going to be interesting to see who gets pole position. As all the cars take their positions on the grid, the final preparations have been made, and all that's left is for the drivers to deliver on track.
I can't lie, I'm actually looking forward to these final 2 races now of the season, considering that, you know, it's now going to be a full-out sprint, literally, towards the checkered flag in Abu Dhabi. We're starting last, we've literally got nothing to lose from last place, and let's see how many positions we can gain from the first lap. Hopefully, we can try and gain some positions. I'm not expecting a top 5 or a top 6, but if we can try and maybe bag a top 10, maybe even 8th place, you know, anything will do for the second to last race of the season. The sprint race is underway here in Qatar, and a very mediocre start from us. That Alex Albon gets a good start as we go in towards turn 1. And we're going to take it quite easy, and as you can see, around the outside we go of Logan Sargent there. And the grid is going to be all jumbled up as we head towards turn 2. We're going to go try and go around the outside of Guan Yu there. That doesn't work. And now as we go in towards turn 4, he goes defensive. So we're going to try and switch to around the outside. And let's see, it's side by side there between me and the Sauber. And we overtake Guan Yu in towards turn 6. And we overtake 2 cars, Daniel Ricciardo and also Nico Hülkenberg in the Haas, who is going to Audi for next season in real life. And yeah, it's not been a bad start as we're already into 14th place. So we've already made 6 positions at the start. So let's see if we can try and get Hülkenberg's teammate, Kevin Magnussen. And we just about do in towards that corner there. And that is P13 in 1 lap. So 7 positions in the space of 1 lap. So that's not that bad. Now in towards turn 6, we're going to overtake the RB of Yuki Tsunoda. And that is him checked off P12. In 2 laps, so maybe points is a possibility in today's race. There's a yellow flag there, that's Sergio Perez. Perez in the Red Bull has the DNF, and as soon as Perez has the DNF, we're going to go on the offensive and we're going to overtake Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin, and that will do wonders for us in the rivalry. I think I don't have a rivalry with him, I'm not really sure. However, now we're going to go all out attack as Pierre Gasly, he's not all out attacking, he's all out bottling, and that is now a 2-position game. We overtook Carlos Sainz before our teammate Pierre Gasly, he span, and that's a bit of a skill issue, to be fair. Lap 9, probably one of my favourite overtakes of the entire sprint race. We overtake not Pierre Gasly, we overtake Oscar, can I speak? Oscar Piastri, that's what I mean. We overtake Oscar Piastri with the DRS, and we have a bit of a battle going on with Charles Leclerc, which leads us into the final lap of the sprint race. And with the DRS, we are going to claim the Ferrari's position of P6 here in Qatar. So it's last to P6 in the sprint race, and as long as we can hold on to the position, we should be getting a very good bag of points. However, Lando Norris, I think he has front wing damage from contact earlier on in the race, so he's going slowly. Can we get one last position in this race before the sprint race ends? And it looks like we do. It's going to be from last place to P5 in Qatar. That is a very aggressive drive, and I'm not going to lie, that was a very great drive from us there. We started from last, and we didn't play any defense at all. We just went on full attack, and as you can see, driver of the day. And yeah, what a great drive that was. The car, for some reason, the car does feel really good. There's only 2 corners on the entire circuit where it does feel a little bit understeery, but I think it's because of the differential setup that I'm running, and maybe even the brake bias. I might have to tone the brake bias down by 1% minus so that the car is a little bit more pointier. However, 4 points in the championship. Verstappen now leads Leclerc by 12 as we head into towards the penultimate race of the season.
Welcome back to Qatar and the Lusail International Circuit, a track that has a long history for two-wheeled motorsport action. But tonight it's the four wheels of F1 that are back, and Lewis Hamilton going for another win here. So we're back here in Lusail, and this is the track map. 3.34 miles, 16 turns, and just one DRS zone out of turn 16. It's already a fast and flowing track after all. There's a good overtaking opportunity with DRS though, through the long straight and into turn 1. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Stroll, Bottas, Oscar Piastri, Albon, Sainz, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Sargent, Joe, Hulkenberg, Verstappen, Thomas, Ricciardo, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Let's look at their season, and particularly against their teammate. Fair to say, they've got the better of them more often than not. Now, I'll be generous here. It's not that long ago that you were racing and entertaining us on a Sunday. But in the years since, the sport has changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has, Crofty. You know, the cars have got bigger, they're heavier, but critically, there's more downforce to play with as well now. There was about 4 tons of downforce on the car at 300 kilometres an hour when I drove. You're now looking more towards 5 tons of downforce. So there's a big difference in performance. But because of that, the car being heavier and bigger, you've got to drive in a smoother way. You've got to look after it a bit more. You've got to nurse it through the slow speed corners more. They were much more nimble, agile machines when I drove in Formula 1 compared to now.
Penalties galore in the penultimate race of the season. Penalties for Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, and importantly, Max Verstappen. This could be Charles Leclerc's chance to really take back the championship lead before Abu Dhabi. However, Max Verstappen with grid penalties is a tough driver to beat. The strategy that we're going to be doing today is the opposite strategy. I'm going to test how good the hard tyres are. We're going to go long, as George Russell usually says. We're going to go 15 laps on the hard tyres, and then we're going to do 14 laps on the mediums. And either way, this is a perfect strategy for us because, yeah, even in the first lap or two, we're going to be slow. But from lap 3 onwards, we're going to be stronger every single lap. And then when it comes to lap 15, we're going to pretty much have better tyre wear than everyone else around us. And then when we do box in the second half of the race, we are going to be pretty much on the quicker tyre. I don't know about the tyre wear from the mediums to the hards, how bad they are, as far as how bad the mediums are compared to the hards. But either way, we will have an advantage compared to the AI. And as you can see, everyone else is running medium tyres. So we are the only ones running the hards. So there's only one thing to do, just drive.
The formation lap gets underway, and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out. So as all the cars take their positions on the grid, the teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. The question I'm asking is which teams have got it right, which ones have got it horribly wrong.
Right, here we go. The penultimate race of Season 1 of the Alpine to Glory. We're starting in P18 with a very mixed up grid. We've got Verstappen with us. We've got Carlos Sainz just in front of us with Lewis Hamilton as well, all suffering with penalties. Anything can happen in Formula 1, and usually anything does, as we get ready for 5 red lights for the penultimate race of Season 1 of the Alpine to Glory. And it is lights out, away we go here in Qatar, and of course on the hard tyres. What do you expect? It's a slow start from us, and we've already lost 2 positions, so now we are going to try and see if we can do a last to first challenge. By the way, bit of a mention, we got pole position in qualifying, but considering that we got the penalties for the new engine components, we're pretty much starting last anyways. So, P16 already in the space of one sector, and this is pretty much going to be the most painful part of the race, considering that we are on the slower tyre compared to everyone else on the mediums. However, simply because the gap's opening and everyone being in single file, and the fact that, you know, the AI are quite slow on the first lap, hopefully this should give us an advantage as far as just making our positions known. Lap 2, and we dive down the inside of Lewis Hamilton. I don't think he saw that coming. Down inside of the 7-time world champion, and that is a moved on. I can't lie. How good has Lewis Hamilton been in the first half of the season? I don't think anyone expected him to win races this season, let alone one. He's won 2, and even at Silverstone, and he's put up a great performance at Spa as well, finishing behind his teammate before George Russell got disqualified. Hamilton has had a very criminally underrated season in that Mercedes. Hopefully he continues that form in towards Ferrari next year. Speaking of Ferrari, the Kick-Sauber's Ferrari engine is alpha, well actually no, it's beta compared to our Alpine engine, and as you can see, Verstappen set at 24.2, we set at 24.7, so 5 attempts behind the Red Bull. That's pretty much expected. Lap 7, we are in P11, and we have now tried to burn our battery just a little bit, and we are now in DRS zone of Carlos Sainz, which is mega for us, because the more we can be in DRS, the more we can break away from that train of Tsunoda and Bottas, and as you can see, that train behind us pretty much exiting the exiting the penultimate corner. Let's see what happens here. We're now pretty much in DRS zone. We overtook Carlos Sainz in towards the final corner, and now Piastri trying to overtake Lance Stroll. We're going to go around the outside of the McLaren of Oscar Piastri in towards turn 1. He holds the line, but we will have the inside line for turn 2. It's side by side centimetres between us, and overall in the end Oscar Piastri has to back out. P9 in the space of just under 10 laps here in Qatar, as we set at 25.5. And we're going to try and line up Stroll. As Stroll overtakes Gasly, we're going to overtake Stroll. It's going to be a double overtake in towards turn 1. I really love that overtake there, covering the inside line, and 2 positions for the price of 1 corner. P7 already here in Qatar, and we're pretty much maintaining an attack attitude. We're not playing defense. We're not trying to, you know, go slow or play defensive. We're just trying to attack these drivers as much as we can. We've got nothing to lose in this race. We're not going to win the driver's title. We're not going to pretty much lose any positions unless we DNF. Yeah, so we're just attacking. Lap 13, Fernando Alonso comes into the box, and as you can see, Verstappen is ahead of us, and teammate is in, Gasly's in. Verstappen goes defensive. We're going to try and go the long way round of the world champion Max Verstappen, who can win the title today. I think if he finishes 13 points ahead of Charles Leclerc, he will be the 2024 world champion and 4 times world champion Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc is in for his one and only stop, and now we're going to box on the same lap as Sergio Perez. I didn't expect the mediums to go the same distance as the hard tyres, but that just pretty much shows how durable the mediums are. However, coming in for our stop here, let's see if we can try and jump Sergio Perez in the box, off with the hards and on with the mediums. 2.5 second stop window, and as you can see, we have jumped Sergio Perez, so we are now in the net race lead. This is going to be really close between us, Fernando Alonso, Max Verstappen, and maybe even Oscar Piastri in the McLaren as we exit the box, entering towards turn 1, and Verstappen overtakes us. Alonso tries to. We have lost position to Max Verstappen. We overtook him pretty much on the lap before we boxed, and we have now lost position to Verstappen. However, we're going to retain the lead with DRS as Verstappen set to 23.5. However, we're going to smash that with our medium tyres, and we overtake Max Verstappen. We've officially went from last to first here in Qatar, and now with only 12 laps to go, we can now think about leading a race win. Oh no! No, we can't. Fuck. You've got to be fucking kidding me. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Just as when we were thinking about a race victory Our first race win since Monza. Well, actually, not even Monza. I don't even know when Spa. We have a mechanical failure and we're out of the Qatar Grand Prix. That's heartbreaking. That's gutting. I have no words. I'm short of words right now to describe the events that have just happened. We were leading the race legitimately and now we've been fucked by the game. Wonderful.
And so the celebrations begin, and well-earned they are indeed. It might have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level at the very top is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion. And in the end, there was no Verstappen. Max Verstappen, he takes victory.
And now with 4 race victories in a row, Crofty, it shows the power that they have, this stranglehold on the championship, and it's for the others to try and stop them before it's too late.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
And to top it all off, Verstappen not only wins the Qatar Grand Prix, but Max Verstappen is the 2024 World Champion. He's a 4-time World Champion. He's beaten Charles Leclerc to the title here in Qatar. And just like in real life, he has done it again in Qatar. He beat Sergio Perez last season, and now he's beaten Charles Leclerc. He's outscored him to win his 4th world title, and it's kind of criminal how he has the same amount of world championships as Sebastian Vettel and also Niki Lauda as well. Yeah, I can't believe that. I genuinely can't believe that. We literally had the perfect race. We started last, and because of the offset on the hard tyres, we were able to dissect our way in towards the top 5, and then because of the outlap that we did, we rejoined second. We overtook Max Verstappen on the next lap, and we regained the lead of the race. And then, not even a lap in, the engine screws us over. Verstappen there, confirmation with 26 points compared to Charles Leclerc's 10, the offset of 16. Max Verstappen is world champion. We score 4 points. Gasly scores 2. Which means we score 6 compared to Alonso's 20, I believe. And Alpine, our lead against Aston Martin is now down to 9 with 1 race to go. So it's Alpine versus Aston Martin in the season finale in Abu Dhabi to see who will be the 5th best team. Unfortunately, we are behind Sergio Perez in the rivalry, and that has set us back massively. 84 racecraft. Same ratings for awareness and pace, and now we're down to 78 focus with 1 race to go. That is, I can't believe that. We had legitimate pace this race, and we got the pole position. We got pretty much 6th place in the sprint race, and we were in the lead. You saw it. We were in the lead with 12 laps to go, and unfortunately, the game has shafted us once again with an engine DNF. But that is that for episode 15, the penultimate race of season 1 of the Alpine to Glory. We're going to come back fighting in the final episode of the season. You don't want to miss it. Alpine versus Aston Martin for 5th in the World Championship. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave like, share, comment and subscribe for more F1 24 career mode content. And I'll see you all in the next Alpine to Glory in a bit.